Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the book Refuge and welcome to a fun little video that I'm hoping to do today. I hope it's going to be fun. It's either going to be a little bit boring or a little bit amazing. I'm not sure. Realize that I didn't put some lipstick on. We were keeping it low key today because I was planning to just do some office work. That's what it's called when you work for yourself. And my whole day just kind of had a shake up in it. Not in a bad way, but basically I went to go chat with the dentist about something and it ended up being at the dentist for an hour and a half. And so then I really wasn't feeling up to doing that and blah, blah, blah. The day got away from me. But I've seen some of my fellow booktubers do videos like this before. And some of them do like update videos about it even. And that is obviously based on the title, like everything that's currently checked out on KU for you. You know, we've been able to have 20 for quite a while now. I can't remember when that started, but I remember it being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get so many more KU books read now. It's going to be amazing. And for the most part, it just means that instead of having 10, I now have 20 books that I don't get to on a regular basis, right? But what I thought I would do is go through all 20 of these. Now, some of them have been in my KU for a very long time. So I'm going to see if there's any that after reading the description with you guys, I want to like unhaul from my KU. Because something that I started, which I think everyone has had to do by now, or you will the next time your phone updates, because both, I believe both iPhones and Androids are making this change where you can no longer like purchase directly on your Kindle app. You also can't do it with Audible. I don't know why this change has happened. I don't understand the background for it. I don't really care. But basically what it means is that you need to make lists. And then Bree, when I was at the Booktubers retreat, actually said that she, on her phone, just made a direct, like, bookmark onto her phone so that she can go to the Amazon website, desktop site, instead of the app. And then you can purchase it there. And I was like, wow, that was very helpful. Thank you for the tip. So anyway, the point being is that now when someone on TikTok or YouTube or when I'm watching it is recommending KU books, I add them to a playlist that I made that is my KU shopping list. And then either right then if I really, really want it, or because my KU is full a lot of the times, when I return a book from my KU, I just go to the Amazon app, or the Amazon, like the icon that I placed on my phone to go directly to it and pick out the next one that I want. It's a few more steps, but you know, it still gets the job done. The books are still part of the program, so you know, I'm not really complaining if there's just one more step. Like, honestly, it's still really quick. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to go through, and since my Kindle Paperwhite would take a very long time to do this, and also if I open the books on my Kindle Paperwhite, they automatically mark that they're being read on Goodreads, although I could put it in airplane mode and then it wouldn't do that. I don't want to. We're going to use my Amazon Fire tablet, which I have so that I can like take pictures of book covers, and also sometimes I just want things in color. Sometimes when I'm reading fan fiction, there will be like fan art that's in color in it, and I like that. So, you know, I'm weird that way. But we're going to go through all 20. I'll give you the little spiel about like why I picked this one up if I can remember, and then we'll read the blurb together. And then by the end of this, we'll see if I've kept all of them and which ones are like my highest priority, because I want to pick maybe 3 that are like my highest priority, which some of them are because they're literally on my June TBR, and some of them just because. So that's enough explaining. Maybe this video is cool, maybe it's not. Maybe this is something I'll do like every month or every other month, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out. So let's go ahead and start, and we'll work our way through. The first one is Kingdom Fall, and this is a part of the Underworld Kings, and it's by A. Zavarelli. And so this one, it says, I was a nanny in need of a job. He was darkness personified. I had little to call my own. He was filthy rich, powerful, and dangerous. The assignment was simple. My goal was to take care of his son, keep my head down, when he least expects it, destroy him. It should have been easy. I thought it would be until I looked into his stark blue eyes. Kissing the enemy is a bad idea, but so is falling in love with him. He doesn't know my crumbling foundation is built on lies. When he discovers the truth, I'll find out if he's as brutal as I believe. I came here to steal his life. I didn't count on him stealing my heart. So this one I really wanted because I've read a few of A. Zavarelli's before. I've also read a few of the Underworld Kings before, and I've really enjoyed them. I also have the audiobook for this one. And my friend Jessin actually already read this one and she enjoyed it a decent amount. So I'm definitely going to keep this one. And I love that it's a nanny. I love that it's mafia. There are lots of things to love about the idea of this one. The next one I have is Mr. Romance by Lisa Raven. This is one that I've seen many of my friends read and gush about. Max Riley is the man of your dreams, or at least he will be, for a price. As his alter ego, Mr. Romance, Max is drop-dead gorgeous escort who makes romantic fantasies come to life. No sex, just swoon-worthy dates to die for. The cream of the New York's socialites can't get enough. Whether they want a dominating billionaire, bad boy with a heart of gold, hot geek, sexy biker, or best friend who loves them from afar, Max can make it all happen, but he's careful to keep his real identity a secret. Enter investigative journalist Eden Tate. Having caught wind of the urban legend of Mr. Romance, Eden is determined to publish a scathing expose on Max and his ability to swindle lonely society women out of their fortunes. Desperate to protect his anonymity with his clients, Max challenges Eden to give him 3 dates. If she doesn't fall in love with him, she can run her story with his blessing. If she succumbs to his charms, the story dies. Cynical Eden has no doubt she can resist his fake romance personas, but when the real Max admits he's falling for her, she has to decide if the professional liar is telling the truth or if the passionate man with the mysterious past is just one more character designed to con her out of her career making story. Don't miss this sizzling new standalone. So yeah, this is one I've heard a lot of good things about. I actually know there's like a third one in the Masters of Love series coming out soon. So this one's been in my KU for way too long. And I really want to read it soon. So this one's going to stay, and hopefully this will encourage me to read it sooner. All right, I just realized I'm going to be reading this whole time, and I need to go get some water, so I'll be right back. I obviously should have guessed that, since the idea was to read the blurbs to you guys, but, you know. Okay, this next one is The Thorn Remains by Jennifer Hartman and Shelley Sinclair. And this is one, man, I've had this one on here for so long. I mean, obviously, I'm starting with the oldest one, so I could stop saying that about everything, but I've had this one on since, like, the day it came out. So this one says, vengeance. Hidden deep within the shadows of human nature, it smolders, simmers, waits. Only for me, it was no longer a hibernating beast. The day I discovered the wrongs committed against me, vengeance clawed its way right through me. The beast had emerged from its lair with a burning need to destroy the man who tore my marriage apart. And now it was my lifeline, my dark lover, my whole purpose. Revenge. They say it's sweet in the end, and I believe them. I could almost taste the honey on my tongue, like a balm I needed to quell the bitterness. But it was all a lie. I was blindsided. And not once did I think about who I might hurt along the way. I never considered the casualties that may fall across my path of destruction. No, revenge is not sweet. Retaliation does not end in reward. Vengeance is not justice. The promises whispered by the beast within, they're all hollow. All I ever wanted was to be set free. In the end, I never expected for it to be worse than when it all began. I never expected the wreckage left in my wake. I never expected her. So, I believe this one is that there is this man who gets cheated on, and he decides his revenge is to, like, sleep with that man's wife. I believe so. This one is recommended. You know, this is Jennifer Hartman, so a lot of people give really great reviews to this. I mean, Pam Godwin loves Jennifer Hartman, so I have all of her books on my TBR, and I've read a few of them, obviously. So this one will probably stay. We'll see how we go, though. It's been on here a long time, though, and I haven't felt super drawn to it again. And I do have another Jennifer Hartman on my list, which we'll get to. We're going in order, as I said, but we'll get to the other one of hers I have on here too. One is called Treachery, and it is by Lily White. And I can't remember the reason that I grabbed this one. So let's read the blurb and let's see why. This one also has a prequel included in it. That's why it was so long. So this one says this. Ninth Circle, Treachery, also known as Tanner Kane. He is a temptation with cold, dark eyes, a man with a seductive smirk and a body built for pure sin. The linchpin of a group of wealthy bad boys known as the Inferno. A dark presence that repels as much as it attracts. Tanner is the poisoned apple I want to bite even when I know it will destroy me. Our story started in college, but I ran from him so far I believed I was safe. I should have known he'd find me eventually. I should have known that nobody escapes. He has me in his sights again with an offer I can't pass up. I know better than to make a deal with the devil, not unless I'm willing to pay his sensual price. So this one says that it's book one and it includes a prequel. Each novel in the series depicts a unique romance, but the plot through each book connects into one world. For the best experience, read them in order. So it's 9 ruthless men, 9 unrepentant sinners, and 9 irresistible manipulators. So I think I grabbed this because he's kind of a sociopath and that like all the books are supposed to be. But this is one that I don't remember who recommended it to me. I think I just found it while I was cruising on Amazon. So I don't know if I'll keep this one. That doesn't mean that I think the book will be bad. I'll probably still keep it on my want to read list. But this might be one that I ditch. Because remember, I'm looking to boot some of these off. Because I don't need them necessarily. So we'll see. That one I'm not feeling a huge pull to anymore. But if it's one that you really liked, you could definitely pitch it to me. Although by the time you watch it, I'll probably have removed it. But again, it'll still be on my want to read list. It just won't be on like my KU. So next, oh my, this one has a map in it. Super cool. This one is Origins by Charlie Nottingham. Now, I absolutely know that this is a TikTok purchase because I've grabbed a few books by Charlie Nottingham. She was an author that I followed on TikTok. I actually had to like unfollow her because it's one that like I see her every time I open it up. And I don't know about you, but sometimes the TikTok algorithm goes overboard. Just because I'm liking a couple videos by one person, like they're not the only person I want to see on my TikTok. Like TikTok doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I'm interested in her books and she really has sold me on a few of them. So this one says, Fae marry for love, angels marry for politics. Vea has dreamed of becoming queen of the Fae since she was a girl, but once she finally takes her throne, her world is under attack by ruthless soul eaters. She's forced to watch it burn or marry a man she hates, Lux, king of the angels. Nyx is the half-elven, half-angel bastard prince of both the elven nation and the land of the angels. When he takes his place as the hand of the king beneath his brother, it becomes his duty to guard the new queen, Vea. Will Vea assimilate into a world where women are treated like cattle, or will she steal Lux's world out from under him with his brother at her side? If you liked Game of Thrones and From Blood and Ash, you'll love this sexy magical world of the origin of the gods. And see, I believe that this will, yeah, it says, this is a distant prequel series to the urban fantasy eluding destiny, as in it's thousands of years. So it wasn't a you have to read it, but I really liked the sound of it anyway, and I was like, oh, interesting. So there's that one. Then this one I'm kind of excited for. So this one says it is called Duality, and it's a age gap teacher-student romance by Charlene Namdari. And I gotta tell you, so I think this one's supposed to be a duet, and I'm very intrigued by what it says about this one, because there's trigger warnings that make me excited. This one says, this is not your typical student-teacher story, but a mystery romance. It's a large age gap. Please take note of the ages in the blurb. Book 2 will answer some questions you might have at the end of this. Okay, so there's probably going to be a cliffhanger. Good to know. Blurb. 2 sides of a coin can never be equal despite belonging to the same body. Ooh. When my mother prostituted me to the Winthrop Brotherhood, I wasn't expecting my party to be one of anything but old. Okay. Prostituted me I wasn't expecting my party to be one of anything but old. Okay. Dark hair, green eyes, and an arrogant smirk for miles, the mysterious man was chiseled to perfection from the clenched jaw down to his Tom Ford lace-ups. An hour with him was, let's just say, the cream on his 35-year birthday cake wasn't the only thing he was licking. A dream come true for any 17-year-old, and one I'd never see again. That's what I thought, until a new teacher walked into the room at my school a month later, and my reaction, holy shit. That's until my father invited said teacher, apparently his old friend, to dinner. My reaction, God help me, because Saint Sinclair is still a mystery, this time the forbidden kind I want to indulge in, no matter the repercussion. Good girls go to heaven, little girl, but bad girls create hell on their knees. Woo! All right, so interesting. She gets prostituted out, but then she also is like still in school and like has her dad very interested in this, and I see why I wanted to read it. But okay, also because Charlene Nadari, she wrote a book called Intoxication, which I was sent by my friend. I believe Cheyenne sent it to me. So I think that's how I ended up finding this one. And I'm intrigued. It's also like, I don't read too many anymore where the heroine starts under like where she's 17. But I like it when it's taboo. So yeah, this one's called Duality. Very intrigued by that one. That one's staying for sure. Then, okay, this is one absolutely is going to stay, but The Longing of Lone Wolves, okay? And I know that I'm going to read this because both Crystal and Joe have read this and enjoyed it and liked it, and there is an audiobook for this one as well, which has me very excited. So, The Longing of Lone Wolves is the Fae Guardians, Season of the Wolf, Book 1, and this is by Lana Petrchik. Sorry, can't pronounce that. Rush is a Fae Guardian, a wolf shifter whose enhanced abilities have made him a ruthless protector of Elfine. His job is to protect the realm from the human enemy and to ensure the sins of the past never come to pass again, lest magic die forever. But one night of weakness resulted in a curse worse than death, exile. Now he spends his lonely time longing to be a part of the living, once again protecting them from monsters until one mysteriously washes up on the shores of his lake. Clark is human. She's beautiful, feisty, and fierce. She's also the only person who can see him, speak to him, and touch him. If he hands her over to the Order, she's his ticket to having his curse removed. Unable to resist the opportunity, he tricks her into a bargain of obedience, never once suspecting his world is about to be turned upside down. The more he learns about this human enemy, the more he realizes she's not the monster he'd been trained to believe. In fact, she's capable of inciting passion he'd never dreamed possible again. But Clark has a message from the past. Sins are already repeating. This time, if they don't stop the coming evil, it won't just be magic that dies. It will be everything. So yeah, a new style of epic fantasy featuring steamy shifter romance, a dash of time travel, monster hunting, a band of brothers, fated mates, growly fae protectors, and their strong-willed women from our time. So that's exciting to me. There's going to be 5 books in this series. That's super cool. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping this one, and I will be getting the audiobook for it when I'm ready to read it. So excellent. Next, this one should be a quick explanation. So this book is Revengeful Queen by Lily St. Germain, and this is the next book in the Violent Kingdom series. The first one I read during the Mafia readathon, and it's a captor romance. They get captured together, and they're from rival mafia homes, and they were actually like kind of sort of would have been engaged to each other when they were young, but then their family started fighting, so that like got ruined. And then they get kidnapped together and were put in a situation where he gets told that he's supposed to rape her or they'll both be murdered. So let's read the blurb about this though. But this is book 2. Avery Capulet, the forbidden fruit, the apple of her daddy's eye, the newly minted queen of California's criminal underworld, and now the missing girl nobody can find. I know where she is, though, kneeling before me, tears spilling from her eyes as the last bit of her dignity bleeds from her. I don't want the pound of flesh that the girl who betrayed me delivers, but I don't have a choice. Avery Capulet, moaning underneath me, as pain emerges with pleasure, skin to skin, as we do what we can to survive. In the dark, in the wild, we're like animals. I try not to love her. I try so damn hard. but the war waged inside my heart has won a long time ago by a girl who should have known better than to trust a man like me. Rome Montague, the boy from my past, the man in my nightmares, the dark secret lover who makes me feel things I never knew I could feel. Love and pain can both drive you insane. I fight and fight until all I can do is surrender, be pulled under, submit until I barely recognize myself. Rome Montague, when he looks at me, I forget the lies that destroyed our past. When he makes me come apart underneath his touch, I forget where we are, and that a faceless enemy pulls our strings like marionettes. The outside world beckons bright, teasing us with migraines of safety and respite. But the light of day is a cruel lie, because once we find a way out of the dark, we realize that our nightmare has just begun. So definitely will be continuing with this series because the setup for it is pretty epic. And it's very dark and twisty, so lots of triggers in this one. All right, we're halfway through. Isn't this fun? We're going to keep going. I'm liking this. Only really one that I think I'll remove, though. I think I've made good choices about this. So this next one is Under Her Skin, and it's book 1 in the Blank Canvas series, and this is by Adriana Anders. So this one has me excited as well. So this one says, his scarred hands are the gentlest I've ever known, if only life were a fairy tale where beauty got to keep her beast. Every morning I wake up and remind myself I am not my past, but beneath my drab clothing hides a secret, proof of the abuse I suffered at the hands of my possessive ex. Tattooed on my skin is a lurid reminder of everything I've survived. I'm alone and in hiding, trying to rebuild some semblance of a normal life. I didn't expect healing to come in the form of a rough ex-con whose rage drives him in ways I'll never understand. Ivan's scars are on the inside, a wounded soul like me, but day by day, this gentle giant proves to me that there are second chances in life, and he deserves them as much as I do, and maybe finding each other will finally allow to pick up our broken pieces and make something beautiful and new. So this says it's a high-heat romance, and it's an emotional tale of surviving and contains strong themes of past domestic and sexual abuse, which I definitely knew when I grabbed this one, and I want to read this one real bad, and there's also an audiobook for this one. So, very excited about that. I love that heals. All right, now we have one that is on my TBR for June, and this one is Empire of Sin by Rena Kent. Now, I read Empire of Desire, and I'm going to keep going. Because I was promised by one of my girls that this is the one that really will kill it. And I have an audiobook for this one, so I will be getting to it. So this one says, my boss, my sin. I'm not the type who has one-night stands. It wasn't supposed to happen, okay? A couple of drinks and a simple British accent later, and I'm in bed with a stranger. Of course, I left first thing in the morning because I'm a responsible adult. An adult who has a new job that I need in order to keep my double life a secret. Little did I know I'm not in fact responsible because the stranger I left in bed, yeah, he's not a stranger after all. He's my new boss. Knox Van Doren might have a charming smile, but a true villain lurks beneath it all. And like any villain, he'll use my sin against me. So I'm pretty excited for this one. Well, I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's go with that. All right. Then we have Savage in the Touch. Savage in the Touch. This cover is gorgeous. And I believe, okay, I just got to read the blurb, but I think this is like Barbarian Mates or something. I can't remember. Oh, and this one's only a novella too, so maybe this one will get moved to the top of the list. So this one says, the fearsome horde wasn't supposed to be real, but then myth becomes reality in the touch of a savage. Glowing red eyes, pointed teeth, and claws demolish everything in our village, as well as my hope to escape with my sister. There's nothing we can do except wait for their departure, hoping they don't take more than we have to give. The savage demands are swift and foreign, as is the hunger in his eyes. He only watches me, and the fire in his gaze burns brighter the longer he stares. I'm beginning to think he'll never leave, or if he does, he won't go without me. So this is a fast burn horde fantasy romance with an over-the-top monster hero and a heroine who handles his charming personality with a courage of her own. So this one I think is pretty high at the top of the list. Because it's a novella length And I think there's like, how many are in this series? There's 3 in this series, so that's cool. Exciting. All right, then we have another one that is on my June TBR, and it's one that I'm excited to read. Maybe not, I'm trepidatious, but it's another Jennifer Hartman, and it is her new release, June 1st. So this one says, want to know what happens to a man who barely claws his way out of a tragedy only to fall right into the arms of the one girl in the world he can never have? Another tragedy, that's what. When I was 6 years old, my father made a choice that altered the course of my entire life. Because of what he did, the only girl I ever loved became the only girl I couldn't have. In a lot of ways, I did have her. I had her first steps, her first words, her first smile. I had her milestones, her heartbreaks, her dreams. I had her heart so woven with mine, I didn't know where she ended and I began. Only as the years pressed on, lines became blurred, and the blurrier the line, the easier it is to cross. They say tragedy comes in 3s. For me, that was true. The first one changed me, the second one broke me, and the third one healed me. But at the center of all that tragedy, there is a love story, and at the center of that love, there is June. So, there we go. That one is a, like, adoptive sibling type romance. So, there's that. Then we have The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth O'Rourke. And I want to read some more Elizabeth O'Rourke, and this is one that's been recommended to me, so I grabbed it. You don't really know a guy until you vacation with him. When Drew Wilson's ex-boyfriend, Joel Six Bailey, asks her to go on his family trip to Hawaii with him, just as her life is falling apart, she decides it's the perfect time to give him another chance. The hitch? The Bailey family includes Six's rude older brother, Joshua, a hot nerd doctor who hated Drew since the moment they met and once suggested she'd steal the family silver. Drew is determined to win the Baileys over and to give things with Six a fair shot, but Joshua is making that difficult, not simply because he's in her way at every turn, but because, as one tropical adventure leads to the next, she's beginning to wonder if obnoxious, odious Joshua might be the brother she actually belongs with. So yeah, this one also has an audiobook, so that's cool. That one seems okay, but again, I want to read some more of her, so we'll see. Next, I have Gladiator by Anna Hackett, and this one is a alien gladiator. So here it is. Fighting for love, honor, and freedom on the galaxy's lawless outer rim. When Earth Space Marine Harper Adams finds herself abducted by alien slavers off a space station, her life turns into a battle for survival. Dumped into an arena on a desert planet on the outer rim, she finds herself face to face with a big tattooed alien gladiator, the champion of the Core Magna Arena. A former prince abandoned to the arena as a teen, Raiden Tiago has long ago earned his freedom. Now he rules the arena, but he doesn't fight for the glory, but instead for his own dark purpose, revenge against the Thraxian aliens who destroyed his planet. Then his existence is rocked by one small, fierce female fighter from an unknown planet called Earth. Harper is determined to find a way home, but when she spots her best friend in the arena, a slave of the evil Thraxian aliens, she'll do anything to save her friend, even join forces with the tough alpha male who sets her body on fire. But as Harper and Raiden step foot into the blood-soaked sands of the arena, Harper worries that Raiden has his own dangerous agenda. So yeah, I like survival type fighty romances like that. Love it. The Call of the Water by Marina Simcoe. This one is supposed to be in an aquatic shifter romance, maybe, sort of. Let's read it and remind myself. But I was pretty interested by this cover. A man with a teasing smile and an angel's voice, Zeph is supposed to be nothing more than a beautiful, fun Parisian adventurer. His voice lures me in, his gorgeous blue eyes draw me to him, and his smile puts me at ease. We part after just one night. The next time I see him, I'm captured and trapped in a world I never knew existed. Madame Ten's establishment is intriguing and whimsical on the outside, but it turns dark and sinister as I'm plunged deep into it. Humans do not belong in the menagerie, so what is Zeph doing here? I realize I know nothing about the man who has ruled over my imagination since the day we met. I need to find my way out or risk spending the rest of my life locked in a cage. Only the more I learn about Zeph, the more I realize he's not from my world. Is he a willing participant companion in the menagerie or a victim like me. So, yeah. I don't know. That one is one that I really love the cover and the idea of it. So, I'm a bit interested. All right, then we have Merciless Saints by Michelle Hurd, the first in the Saint series, which came before the Sinner series by her. And of course, I'm getting this recommended to me nonstop by people who are reading Michelle Hurd. And I'm pretty interested, so let's read the blurb. Alliances are made, loyalty is owned, love is taken. I'll show everyone I'm a threat and they will fear me. For my family, I have to protect them. The second I hear the name Damien Vetrov, I know I'm in trouble. He's an arrogant Russian god, only I have zero intention of bowing to him, ever. Attractive and lethal, he's such an intoxicating mixture. Every second we spend together, the pull between us becomes stronger and my fear grows. While my body wants him, my head knows better. He has the power to kill my family. But when blood is shed, I'm forced to depend on Damien for my life. Being at his mercy, whether he'll kill me or protect me, is up for debate. This is dark and triggering content between the pages, 18 plus only. Definitely do want to get into this because I'm really liking this Sinner series so far. All right, just a few left. And I'm pretty excited about some of these. So this is one that I heard about on the Booktuber retreat. And it is a quickie, so I might get to this one soon too. So this is an FF romance, and I haven't read too many of those. This is called Don't Tell Me No, and it's Forbidden Taste #1 by Honey Channel. Yep, that's it. And I heard about this from Jessica at Peace Love Books, and I'm excited about it. So it says this: all debts must be paid, no matter the cost. Rhea White was payment for her husband's crimes. The thief had pawned her off to his billionaire boss to pay back the money he had embezzled. Unknowingly, she was an accomplice, living off the false wealth she thought he'd earned. Backed into a corner, she has no choice but to submit to pay the debt. The word no was no longer able to be in her vocabulary. What started out as a sentence turned into so much more. She fell for the woman, craved her. Now she doesn't want to leave. So, yeah. So an FF. That is like, you owe something. Ooh, there's a warning. Let me read the warning to you. This book is pure lesbian erotica. Hot, steamy sex filled the following pages. If you're looking for characters with much depth in a full-length novel, this book isn't for you. Look for a hot reads of a husband using his wife as payment, then this book is for you. Enjoy it and make sure you leave a review. I'm definitely going to be reading that. That one's in the top 3 as well to read. And I think so is this one. This one I actually bought the audiobook for, and it's another like novella length one. Because this is by Sarah Kate, and it is part of the Handsome Devil Hero Club. And this one goes as this. There are exactly 2,716 miles between my home in Boston and my best friend in Las Vegas. When she calls me to let me know that she's about to get married and needs me at her ceremony in 5 days, how could I refuse? Just one problem. The winter storms have all the flights canceled. Luckily for me, I'm not the only person desperate to get to that wedding. Kirsten's dad, whom I've never met, is waiting outside my apartment, willing to drive me across the country so neither of us miss the wedding. By New York, I learned that Henry James is the smuggest British man I have ever met. In Chicago, he makes me question every single life choice I've ever made. It's in Denver when we finally break the forbidden rules between us. By the time we reach Vegas, my best friend may never want to speak to me again because I've fallen head over heels for her dad. Yep, definitely gonna make this happen. Definitely. Best friend's dad. Here for it. One is My Professor by R.S. Gray. This is her new release. And my best friend Shauna is the one who first got me to read R.S. Gray. And I haven't liked the last couple new releases, but this one has like everything I love in it, so I'm ready for it. So this one says, young and naive, those are his exact words. Professor Barclay views me as a nuisance, a disruption to his otherwise obedient class and perfectly regimented life. His bad impression of me stems from a simple misunderstanding, and when that impression sours from bad to worse, he decides to make an example out of me in front of the entire class. Every other female student in that auditorium looks on, longing to trade places with me, wishing they were the object of his attention. It's humiliating. I want nothing to do with him or the tension growing between us, but he feels inescapable. Deep down, I know I have a crush on him. It's a shameful feeling I refuse to give life to. Not that it matters, nothing can come from it. Besides our mutual dislike for one another and the fact that he's my professor, there's an age gap that should be warning enough. While we might cross the line once, the dark glance across the dimly lit bar, the metallic sound of the bathroom door locking behind us, his hand slowly sliding up my skirt. I know it's a boundary I can't break again. Now more than ever, he's off limits. After 4 years apart, I'm a brand new hire at his firm. I've convinced myself he won't remember me. I'm safe here in the wolf's den. It's funny, isn't it, how easily we can delude ourselves if only we want something bad enough. Nothing could change. The same friction roils between us. My gaze still flees from the chill of his glacier blue eyes. I try to stay out of his way, to keep my distance, but like always, we feel inevitable. Fate seems to think I belong in the arms of my old professor, and raging against fate, well, that's a battle we're all bound to lose. So I'm pretty interested in this one because, again, R.S. Gray, each of her books is definitely heavily based around the trope that it will be about, but sometimes that makes for really great books, and I have some of hers that are absolutely 5 stars. I've had a couple 2 stars, but I always give her books a fresh chance when I get to them because it could end up being amazing. So that's how I do it. That's how I roll. And then the last one is one I grabbed last night because I saw it in a reader group that I'm in, or not a reader group, but like in, what was I saying? In a Facebook group that I'm in, someone was recommending this. I think it was Claire Kingsley's, because they said this hero reminded them of Evan Bailey, who's a grump, who is a mechanic, and the heroine is also like a mechanic in that one. And this one made me excited, and I also got the audiobook for it. So this is Revved to the Max by Melanie Moreland, and it's Reynolds Restorations Book 1. And look at this cover. Look at that beefcake. I'm here for it. Give it to me. I like beef. It makes me hungry. I don't know where I was going with that. Here we go. Last one. Max Reynolds needs help. His shop, his house, and life are all in a state of disarray. In desperation, he turns to the internet to hire a new employee, thinking it will make his life easier. What he expects is a fellow named Charlie, but what he gets is a quirky, sassy redhead named Charlene, who runs him around in circles, and she's all woman. He can't stand her, and he can't keep his hands off her either. So that's literally all the blurb is, and I'm so into it, and I definitely bought the audiobook as well because I want it. I want it really bad. I want a grumpy sunshine mechanic, big hot guy. I want it. So that one's staying for sure. Okay, so those are all 20 books that I have right now. Now, before you've probably already been typing, but the ones I think I'm going to unhaul for right now, I think I'm going to unhaul the Legacy or Treachery. I'm not super pulled into that blurb, and I'm pretty sure I only grabbed it because like Amazon recommended it. So I'm not feeling that one as much right now. And then also, I think The Call of the Water, because I don't know, I'm just not as intrigued by that one. I thought it was a shorter book than it is, so I'm not feeling that right now. So I think I'm going to unhaul those two for now. Like I said, they are all still on my want to read. I just feel like freeing up some space, so I'm going to return those two. The 3 that I think are at the top of my list of books I want to read, like, pretty immediately. Well, maybe there's 4 of them. I'm actually interested in the 3 novellas. I think that'll be good to like knock some books out because I haven't been slumpy, but I've been very like bouncing around between books and everything. And the last book that I finished, by the way, was Give Me More by Sarah Kate, and I very easily could slide into a slump after that. So the 3-4 that I'm going to focus on, Savage in the Touch, Don't Tell Me No, Handsome Devil, and Rev to the Max. I think those are the ones I'm going to like jump on the quickest right now. But otherwise, which of these other ones sounded interesting to you? Which ones do you want to give a try to? I'd love to know. And tell me if you liked this, me going through the ones that I've grabbed on KU. Let me know. I don't know. This just seemed like a video I would try because I've seen some other people do it. So yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you to my Patreons and channel memberships who keep me going here. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.